March 2024, but did you know that the food that we cook to eat, it shouldn't only look delicious or be presentable in any way, but it should be in position to influence your health and well-being. So today on the Nutrition Spot, we're looking at the different cooking methods. So I want at this point of time to picture yourself cooking and which kind of method you usually use to cook. But I also want to say that happy Easter holiday. You know, we're starting tomorrow, and as we prepare to enter into this season, I know most of us are not going to be working, so we're going to be home. So after the show tonight, you're going to be taking notes. So starting tomorrow, you're going to practice healthier cooking methods. If you've been cooking in a certain way, then you would want to do better, because as Beth and TV, we always here to educate you, because we believe prevention is better than cure. And if it comes to what you eat, we want to say that let thy food be thy medicine and thy medicine be thy food. My name is Gift Nakainga, and today I'm having a specialist and an expert in foods, in nutrition, and nutritionist, Mayanja Lawrence. And at this point of time, I want him to welcome people from Umbale, people from Chambogo, people from Muk, people from the different parts of Uganda. Then we're going to get into the show. Mayanja, you're so much welcome.
Thank you, Madam Beck.
You good?
I'm good.
Have you done some cooking today?
Yes. Yes.
You've done some cooking today. You know, as women, we fear men that know
how to cook.
How to cook, because you prepare something and then you're thinking, oh God, is he going to like it? Or anyway, maybe you're a different specimen. But to my viewers, you welcome them on the show.
Okay. All of you members in all the parts of Uganda, you're most welcome. Thank you for being on Bethany TV and on NutritionSpot. I know this program is very important for our health. All of us, we learn from each other, because there are things that you think you know, but when someone talks of some other points, then you say, okay. So you're most welcome, people from Bale, Rugusulu, and Masoli. Yes, I welcome you to this program, and I request you to subscribe for Bethany TV on YouTube.
Thank you so much. Subscribe. Even the guest has helped me say that you should subscribe. So you should like all our different social media platforms and reach out to us on our website. But now for this particular show, you're going to call us on 0786 050762. That number is going to be running over the screen. I want you to call and ask the expert here before you go out there to pay consultation about anything to do with cooking. We need healthier foods. We need to cook foods, and they should be able to influence or enhance our health and well-being. So let us start by understanding what cooking is in particular.
Okay, so Madam Gift, cooking is very common, but cooking is just application of heat to food. So the moment you apply heat in any form, then you are cooking food. The
moment you apply any heat,
yes,
then you are cooking.
You are cooking. So you find that people spend more on finding food, which foods to buy, and expensive foods, which are good, but they forget the most important thing, that is cooking. You get?
Okay, so the procedure or the process that we use to find the foods is not that important.
It is very important, but the importance may be lost from the kitchen. So you may spend more money and spoil everything in the kitchen. Okay. So basing on the method you have decided to use and on which food.
So that means we're having different methods of cooking for the different foods.
Yes.
Okay, before we get there, I believe there are some of us or many of us that want to eat foods before they are prepared.
Yeah. By the way,
is it a good practice? How healthy is it?
You see, when God created this universe, this earth, He put man in the garden, and what was there? Vegetables, fruits, you get. So they have foods that can be eaten raw, you get. Those are fruits, they are ready because the nutrients that we want from those foods, they are readily available for their digestion and absorption as they are, you get. But you find that some foods, some vegetables, yes, they can provide some quantity of nutrients, but to maximize the intake of the nutrients, they need to be broken down a bit for the body, actually for the enzymes that break down those food particles to get the nutrients out of them. So you find that those people who eat some foods, because some people eat raw meat, you get? Yes, some people eat raw meat, some people some people,
I'm thinking about that bit.
So some people also take some greens as they are, you get. Yes, they have nutrients, but they are complex nutrients.
Tulia muogo, lumonde, tumumeketa.
Yes, all of that. And some people like raw cassava and potato. They get complex, those ones, they have complex starch, complex sugars, you get. So those complex sugars, they can be useful in some conditions, you get, because some people, for example, who have diabetes, they don't need more sugars at a time to enter into their body. You get. So find that, yes, they provide some calories, but not as much as the one which is cooked, and the sugars are broken down, so the enzymes can work on them readily. You get?
Oh,
yes.
I get it. Okay, so that means we have to be able to know which foods we're supposed to eat when they are raw and those ones that we are not supposed to eat. So that does it mean that someone's condition also will dictate which kind of raw foods they should and those that they shouldn't?
Yes, someone whose health condition as well dictates, because you find that some cooking methods they favor addition of calories, you get, and yet some conditions they don't need more calories. When I talk of calories, that is energy that is gotten from food. The moment you eat food, you expect to get energy because of the nutrients that you have eaten.
Yeah.
So you find that some cooking methods, they increase caloric content of food, you get. However, others may reduce.
Okay.
You get. So basing on the condition, as well, a healthy person needs to combine. We are going to see that there is no cooking method that is perfect. So for different foods, we need to use different cooking methods.
For different foods?
For different foods, to minimize losses. Where we have losses somewhere, then you can compensate. You
so if you say to minimize losses, what are we losing out here? Bichi byetufiirwa betutafumba mu ngeri entuufu gye tulina okufumbamu.
We have different nutrients. We have macronutrients and micro. We have nutrients that are needed in large quantities in the body, you get. And we have nutrients that are needed in small quantities. However, they are very important because you find that when they are not taken in the body, even if you eat more of these macronutrients, they will not help you. You get.
Okay.
So we have vitamins which are soluble in water. You get. So you find that during the process of preparing food for cooking, these vitamins can be lost. We use water in cooking. So you find that some nutrients, some vitamins, for example, vitamin C, vitamin B3, may be affected, may leach into the cooking liquid. And we may say that you drink the liquid but it may be disgusting to some kinds of foods.
True.
You get? That's why we have another cooking method that favors those nutrients when they leach, so they remain there to be preserved in the cooking liquid.
Okay. That's amazing. I think now the class is getting, started. Yes. I want to appreciate viewers that have just joined us for the very, very first time. You are watching Bethan TV, and this is the Nutrition Spot every single Thursday. Today we are looking at the different cooking methods, and I did start by saying that the food, the way we cook our food, and how it shouldn't be about it being delicious. It shouldn't be about it being presentable. Someone looking at it and they're like, oh, the food looks nice. But it should be able to influence your health and your well-being. So it is our main emphasis tonight to be able to eat healthier and have our bodies get the right nutrients that they do need. So we're going to get deeper into the details of the different cooking methods, and they are for which kinds of foods. The number is going to be over the screen, 07860507662. You can call or you can send us a WhatsApp message, then we shall be able to interact with you. So now Mayanja, let's get into the different foods and their different cooking methods. Then from there, we shall start to break down the different cooking methods.
Okay. Yes, today is Thursday, and this weekend, I think, yes, the business is cooking now.
Yeah, I know. Hey, I'm also excited. I want to go back and start on the cooking.
However, as I've told you earlier, some people, it is a misfortune that the much money they have spent, it may be lost in the kitchen. You get?
Okay.
Like not getting the quality of the food they have bought.
After not getting the quality after
cooking, you get.
Okay.
Because of the possibility of losing different nutrients. You get. So we have different cooking methods that are commonly used in our setting in Uganda, be it in this urban setting, be it in a rural setting. You get. These methods, they depend on what you use for cooking. First of all, fire should be there.
Okay.
Okay. So a fire source should be there. So any source you can access. Because some people who are in the villages, of course, for them they can get what? These cooking stones and then put fire. Now, after that, there is water. You can decide to use a method that requires water.
Okay.
So that one brings us to the cooking methods that are called wet. Wet, you know wet? Wet because there is water, there is liquid. You get? So, and the common one is boiling. Our usual boiling. Getting your food, and then you get your saucepan, pour water, and then you put your food in the water, and then you boil.
You boil.
You get?
That one, yeah. I think most of us use that one.
Most of us use that one because there are some foods, for example, those seeds, the beans, you get? The best way to prepare them, to cook them, is boiling. You get? Because this one uses the temperature, the boiling point of water, which is 100%. So you find that for the time water will be boiling, the hard substance, like the hard components in these grains or any food, okay, will get will degrade. You get, or it will break down.
Okay.
Get? And that one makes the nutrients readily available. Get? So you find that some people decide also to use the same to foods which are not tough, which don't have tough tissues, because that one favors those foods with tough tissues. beans, the soy, the soya beans, you get. You can also, the tough meats, you get. Yes, so you can also decide to use that. Say that you cook for a long period of time to dismantle the tough tissues to make them ready for utilization by the body. Okay, so you find that the nutrients which are in the foods will leach, because now they are loose, they have loosened, you get. So they will leach into the cooking liquid, you get. That's why in some conditions, for example in diarrhea, you find that for example the beans, the sauce, what we call sauce, it contains proteins, and when proteins break down we get amino acids. So the amino acids will leach into the fluid, and then those amino acids will be available to any person who will drink the liquid, you get. That's why it is advisable for those children who are diureting. They need amino acids, they need as well salt, okay, because they are losing water, they are losing electrolytes, so they need to take that liquid. But before adding other things like cooking oil, like spices, because those ones can have other impacts. They can influence the body in another way. You get? Yeah. So boiling is that method. Some people use it for the tubers, you know, tubers, the roots, the cassava, you get. The potatoes, the yams, the banana at times.
Bananas,
but you find that
plantain.
Yes, plantain, you find that those foods, their tissues are not that tough, so the sugars will as well leach into
the water. So that means if they are leaching into the water, that makes it not appropriate, or
you find that it depends on why you are using that method, because I've told you that for example those children who are having diarrhea and they are dehydrated, like they have lost a lot of water in the body, so that liquid will be very useful for them.
Yes. So you after boiling,
yes,
you get that water and give it to the child.
Yes. So as well, it can be cassava, it can be rice, so you hear rice water.
Amazing gogajamu. But you tell the mothers out there, because usually now for the cassava or even for the bananas or whatever that we boil, sometimes after boiling we pour the water.
Yes, actually there when you pour the water, and as well when that water evaporates, because we know water keeps on evaporating. So we expect those nutrients which have leached into that water to be lost. You get? So you are losing the quality of the food, provided you leave that water to evaporate all of it, and you take only maybe the cassava and the bananas. You get?
So in other words, you're telling us nti bwemba nfumba muwogo wange n'amala okujja amazzi ngeetaaga, at the same time ne muwogo mwetaaga. Amazzi,
actually when you hear it, you can even shake, you get?
I know.
So
I know.
that one now,
like we usually boil, for example, the cassava. You boil the cassava and then you want it to dry, like for the water to get off completely. So you are saying it's not healthy.
That one you are losing some components of the nutrients, you get. So that's why we have another method. When you feel you should preserve the glucose not to leach into the water, so you can opt for another method, you get. But now for our mothers who are outside there, they can utilize that method, provided your child is diureting and you see the eyes, like maybe the health workers, they have told you this child is dehydrated. So you can utilize that. You can boil either rice, either cassava, and you add salt into that water if the baby can take, because we don't want to make cooking to be a burden, because some people advise some methods and yet the products are not palatable to their clients. Okay? So palatability should remain, like the love to eat should remain there, however much you are treating a condition. Food should not be looked at as, that's why some children, they don't like some cups, you get, because maybe they give them in those cups when they are sick, so they put maybe bitter herbs, you get.
So whenever they see that cup,
they don't want to take anything, even if it is porridge, even if it is milk, you get. So eating should remain a preference, like you should feel okay when that time of eating comes, you get. So you can add some salt in that water just to taste, and then you give the child just slowly, you get. So that one can help. You get. So we are seeing that boiling is good, however it has that disadvantage of allowing some nutrients to reach into the fluid.
Okay, but it is a good thing.
It is a good thing.
So those that have been boiling, I can say we can go ahead to boil. But now for the mothers, I think you've gotten another side of the story, that you can use the water that you've used to boil certain things for treatment, for hydrating your child. If a child is having diarrhea, it can help to replace the lost electrolytes, like the sodium and all the other electrolytes. So you are still watching the Nutrition Spot, and at this point of time we're just going to get into a break. But as we are into a break, you can prepare your questions. The number is 0786050762. After the break, you can be able to call us and ask. We have a number of cooking methods that we're going to explore in our next segment after the break. Well, the different cooking methods that we're using in our homes affect the texture of our food. They do affect its nutritional value and the other benefits. So it's very important for us to know the different cooking methods for the different foods, and that's why we here on the Nutrition Spot. And I think anyway, it's not only the mothers, even men nowadays are so much involved in cooking. Like my anja is a nutritionist and he likes food, he likes cooking. So we've been told that it's very sad that you can spend a lot of time moving from one market to another, like putting things together that you're going to prepare, and then you reached in the process of preparing them and you've lost all the nutrients. And yet we shall come here and tell you, you eat a balanced diet, you eat this and this and this and that, but during your cooking you lost everything. So we're encouraging you to pay attention. Yeah, you should, and know how best you can prepare your foods and preserve the different nutrients. So now talk about the mothers. There is something that is coming up, and that is about women. So njagala okujjukiza kanjogeze n'olulimi oluzalirwana, njagala okugamba nti abantu ab'emukono namanve embalala seeta naddala abantu abali mu bitundu bya nantabuulirirwa Bethany TV yo ebaleetedde ekyenjawulo ku ky'okujaguza olunaku olw'abakyala mu nsi yonna ekituumiddwa Taasa Maama ne Totowe. Taasa Maama ne Totowe. So okujaguza kuno kugenda kuba nga kugenda mase naku z'omwezi 13 omwezi ogwokuna 2024 mu kisaawe ekya St. Joseph bali ku Ddembe, naye nga okujaguza kuno kugenda kuba kukoziyiza obubenje, okutumbula enkozesa y'enguudo ennungi, ate nga okufaayo naddala eri bamaama n'abaana abasala enguudo buli lunaku nga babatwala ku ssomero ate nga bagenda kuba basiiga ne kye tuyita zebra crossing ku Jumai. So bw'obanga olimu ebyo ebitundu bye twogeddeko waggulu beera nga olindiridde wagenda kubaayo activities ez'enjawulo okugaba omusaayi okusomesebwa ku byobulamu wagenda baayo omupiira wakati w'abakozi ba Bethany TV n'ab'oku kitundu. So mbadde ndagamba nange nja kubayo nga nsamba omupiira naye mujje tuwagire ate mujje tubeere nga tusupportinga omukolo guno ogenda okubaayo nga 13 April omwaka guno gwennyini era ng'omugenyi omukulu agenda kubeera Jeno Katumba Wamala. So katweyongereyo mu kufumba twagambye tuli mugenda munaku nkulu abamu ku ffe twategese dda bye tugenda okufumba encha Saturday ne Sunday ne ku Monday kati katuyige tufumbe bulungi. So back to you Mayanja. We want to look at you've talked about the boiling kati twogere ku the other different cooking methods, and amongst those ones looking at our setting, the African setting, what are the main ones should we put emphasis onto?
There is another one which can be used and it is already used.
Okay.
That is steaming.
Steaming
mu Luganda it can be saanika. Okay, but that is no, auntie, it's like this, steaming ofumbanga okozesa muka steam.
Ala agambye okalirira nayo kalirira, that is roasting.
Yeah, roasting is kalirira.
So steaming
you put direct on fire.
Roasting otekera ddala ku muliro.
Yes, but steaming
tukozesa bugumu.
Tukozesa bugumu, yes. Tukozesa bugumu, and here still you set your fire and you get the saucepan. That is our people in the rural, in the villages. You get. However, still in town, people using the charcoal stove and the cookers, you get. They can also get their saucepan. They put water. They put some solid material. You get. And most times we use the banana stalk, banana leaf stalks. You get. So they use those ones, and they put down in the water. Emizingonyo. Yes, or sometimes they use sticks because emizingonyo nowadays they are rare. But our grandparents, I think, because those stalks, they can become soft, and like there is a way they add some flavor, you get, and they use banana leaves, you get. So in the saucepan they put water, so they add those solid materials, you get, and then they add some maybe banana leaf to prevent direct contact of the food and water.
So you're avoiding, because you're avoiding direct contact.
Because when food is put directly in water, that is boiling. You get. But now here you are preventing direct contact, such that it is only the steam after water boiling, because when water boils it will bring that vapor.
I have a question.
Yes.
If you say putting things, foods or it's in water, that is boiling.
Yes.
Kati ate kino kye tugamba nti ngenda fumba bya boilo, ngenda kulya bya boilo, like meaning temuli water.
No.
That's a different thing.
That's and they use that one when they don't want to use cooking oil, I think.
Ne tugamba tugenda okulya boilo.
Yeah, that is boiling still, by the way, because they just pour water. They just get maybe the meat, they put in water, they get a saucepan, they put water, put meat, so they boil. You get?
Okay.
Yes, that is boiling. So that's why I say that different foods, based on the product that you want to come out, you choose which cooking method will be favorable.
So now back to the steaming, you say after we get the vapor?
So the vapor, since it is hot, it will be going through the food molecules. So the food molecules will be vibrating and then they'll become soft.
Okay.
Wait. So when they become soft, then they get ready. So they are ready for eating. Okay. So that one can be used for our tubers, the cassava, the yams, we have these local yams. Yes, we have the local yams. We have even rice at times, but for them they put in a steaming box and they add water in the rice, you get. So they combine. You find that some foods you can combine different methods. Because even rice you can put in a steaming box and then you put on top of what?
On the
food of the matoke. Maybe you want to save time, you want to use like 3 hours to cook everything. That is meat, sauce, maybe rice and your cassava. You know, maybe you have a bigger saucepan and you have a steaming box or a small container which can allow heat to go through it, and then you reach the what? The food. Right? So that is the steaming. You find that the foods prepared by this, the flavor remains. The pigments do not go into the liquid. You find that the flavor and the color, the pigments are preserved. You put something green, yes, because of the change of the heat, it may change a bit, but the nutrients don't escape. The water-soluble nutrients, they don't escape because they are enclosed. You get. So actually it is advisable. For example, if you put your vegetables like nakati in a small banana leaf and then you put on top of the other food, so you find that the nutrients will remain there.
Than boiling.
Because boiling, water will evaporate, and then those ones which are water soluble, they will be lost. You get.
Is it for is it for all the grains, or for some we can do the boiling and others stick to steaming?
Of course, you find that nakati, you find that sukuma wiki, those ones which are kind of tough, the tissues which are tougher, you can opt for steaming. You get. Because for them they need some more heat, and yet we still need the nutrients to remain. But you find that dodo is soft. So that one you can just stir fry. You can use some oil, or you can put some little water. You get, and then it be like boiling. You get. Yes, but you reduce on the time. Okay.
You reduce on the time
of the boiling.
Okay.
So this steaming preserves the pigments, and these pigments, they have antioxidant effects. You get. So you find that it will be favorable for conditions where we have chronic or prolonged oxidation. When you eat your fats, because fats, they can be oxidized even if they are inside the body, you get. So when you add these pigments, of course, their effect, it can counteract the effect of oxidation, you get. So find that foods, unless you put more water, and maybe some foods go into the liquid, so they become more soft, and the color, so find that the color may be preserved, you get, when you are steaming. But when you are boiling, the color may be lost, you get, because the pigments are destroyed, and that is color, so it goes into the cooking liquid.
So that means that even when you have to taste or to eat this, or for example the grains, that means you've lost all the nutrients.
When boiling, yeah, you have not lost all, but a percentage. You get? Because I know among the discussions I've had, you have heard of nutrition security. You get? So you find that food is there, but the reason, actually, the purpose of the food is not fulfilled because of the poor cooking method. There is food security, but nutrition security may not be there because of the poor cooking
methods.
Yes.
Okay, maybe I'm going to take you back, because of course we started with the boiling, and then we've talked about the steaming, but of course people use different kinds of methods like to cook. Are those the main ones that we should look out for?
No, those ones are just the commonest.
The common ones.
Because most people in the villages, if they don't boil, looking at the foods that are locally available, those are the common methods, and as well based on the resources available.
So okay, because I was going to ask you some of the limitations if it comes, for example, the steaming.
So the steaming, of course, if at all someone doesn't have time, it requires some time to prepare. If you are to use that local steaming method of getting our banana leaves, if at all someone cannot access the banana leaves, so it may be difficult to opt for that method. However, because the food is good and I think it is delicious, some people improvise with polythenes, I've seen some people using those sacks.
Are they healthy?
Of course not. You get? Of course not healthy. But because of the product which is needed, so they use that. So I find that resources may stop people from using that. And as well time.
Using the steaming.
Yes.
Okay. Then talk about the things that we used to improvise. For example, you've talked about the bags, the protein bags. Talk about are they sacks? Like
those sacks, the small sacks.
Yes, those ones that we usually use. What are the repercussions of those things? Because I believe there was someone out there ateresa akakutia kenga mazoka jamu emera zemu akaterese oba akaveera ali mu kusaanikira mu kaveera.
Now those sacks or polythenes, they are produced chemically. You get? So you find that since they are produced chemically, they offer a platform for us people to get in contact with those chemicals. You get? So of course when you heat, there is some chemical change because some molecules vibrate. You get? So you find that they get in contact with food, and if it becomes your routine, you find that in the long run it may develop into cancer. You get? Because those chemicals they mix with food. You get? So and so long as something which is foreign enters into the body and you insist on it, of course the body cells will realize that it is foreign. Okay? So they will change the way they behave. And when that one becomes your routine, so those cells will reach a time and then divide, but in an abnormal way. You get? In response to those chemicals. You get? So that one, of course, now will lead to cancers. Okay? So that is the biggest danger. That is the biggest danger of using those ones.
Okay.
However, so you find that these our leaves, since they have chlorophyll, and of course chlorophyll is a chemical which is a chemical in plants, and it has some antioxidant effect. So it is more favorable and it is good. Yes, and of course the flavor of the food, so it is nice. So that's why those ones, they are not advisable.
Okay. Thank you so much. To those that have just joined the show, we're looking at the different cooking methods and how best can we use them on the different kinds of foods. With me in the studio, I do have an expert, a nutritionist, Mayanja Lawrence, and we want to explore. So far we've talked about boiling and steaming, so we want to see the other methods that we usually use. Remember, we are saying that it's very important to have your food influence your health or your well-being in a good way than having it just look good or look presentable, like nice, appealing, and yet after you eating that very food, you're not going to get anything. You've lost all the nutrients, or it's just going to be more harmful, because it's very easier to have food being toxic or have it being impactful in a good way. So there is this, how do we call it? Is it deep frying?
Deep frying.
That we, I think many of us, even most of us, that people love using. On the streets, you find people, maybe kalai, at home, we do that deep frying. So what do you have to say about that? Is it a cooking method that is we should deploy, that we should use?
As I've told you, that basing on the food and the product you want to have. Frying, okay, using cooking oil is also another method of cooking, and this one you add calories to food.
Okay.
Because we all know that those fats or oils, they contribute to the energy content of food. So basing on maybe what someone does, their lifestyle, it may be good. Okay? But the repercussions, but before I go there, with the frying, you can decide to use just shallow, like stir frying, you put just some little cooking oil, or you can decide to use only frying, deep frying. If it is vegetables, those ones we use is stir frying, of course. We cannot use deep frying of vegetables. So why it is also good for some foods? One, it contributes to the calorie content.
The stir frying, or
yes, the stir frying,
not the deep one.
Yes, you add some cooking oil, just a little, to cover the bottom of the saucepan. Okay. So in that you add your spices, the onions, carrots, green pepper. You put your vegetable. You get. I find that these vegetables, they have some vitamins which dissolve in the fat. Okay, so it will allow these fat soluble vitamins to be in the fat. You get. So you find that it will be favorable for vegetables which contain vitamin A. You get those ones which are green, and as well those ones, the orange colored, the yellow colored vegetables that are around us, they contain vitamin A, and vitamin A, for example, it dissolves in the fat. So find that the fat, the vitamin A, and as well the calorie, they are enhanced. Okay. However, some foods which are fried, the meats which are deep fried, okay, there are some products, reaction between the cooking oil and the lipids. You get, there are some chemicals that are produced, and they may remain in the oil. You get, and as well the cooking oil may react with the hydrogen in the atmosphere, because in the atmosphere there are some gases. You get, so in the long run, when you reuse that cooking oil in deep frying, when you reuse that cooking oil, it will be dangerous to our health. Okay, because of the reaction that occurs, the hydrogenation that occurs, and some components that come as a result of a reaction between because of the too much heat, the oil and the protein you get.
So like you are saying, if we use oil once, we do not have to use it again.
It is better that way. The oil, try to...
Goloza economy. Because
no.
someone will be like, that is money, sir. After buying this whole thing, I discard it.
So just use what is needed.
Then after you discard it, so no reusing.
Now, that is a challenge, because now people are looking at what? At that economy. Because now you have put like a liter of cooking oil in the frying pan. So you have used like a half liter. So pouring it out, of course, that is wasting. Okay? That's why if you can use the half liter, don't pour the whole of it.
So use a little.
Use what will be enough for you.
Okay,
even resource utilization should be looked at.
I know. But we're going into this period. I'm not saying that we've not been eating or cooking and all that, but you know, there is a way we treasure these kinds of festive days. But one message to the viewers in seconds during this time.
I know. People have bought very many foods. People have bought green, yellow, red, orange, white foods. You get. So the best way to preserve the nutrients, shallow frying is important. Okay, because you add some energy and as well the nutrients remain. You get. However, for foods, different foods, you can opt for boiling, yes, steaming, okay? Yes, so it is up to you after knowing the disadvantages and the resources that you have.
Thank you. If you want more knowledge about health cooking methods, reach out to us on our website as Bethan TV. www.bethantv.ug. So do not forget, we're having amazing programs that are really coming up. That is Back to Basics at exactly 10. So just stay tuned in on Bethan TV, and do not forget to watch the NutritionSpot every single Thursday. Have a good night.